out of your tenure for ACDA, what is the toughest decision you ever had to make?
Well, I would have had one answer a year ago before COVID pandemic came, and now a year later, it's kind of a different answer. I think my first answer would have been, had you asked me this in 2019, it probably would have been more about personal issues like, um, do I when do I leave a job and take a new position, or when do I know that my work is finished and I need to move on, perhaps, or reinvent? That probably was the toughest because it was personal. But for an organization, uh, it's a different matter. And if I'm looking at an organizational decision, the toughest decision I made, I think COVID this year probably has to come into play, and I don't want to ignore that. But the toughest decision I think I made in the last year was to shut down two of our regional conferences of ACDA when I could see that it was threatening the way that we do things in terms of the health of our singers, the health of our attendees at the conference, and just basically making the decision that we must shut this down. That's a decision that had financial implications. It was a series of decisions to follow science rather than following politics or following emotions, but to follow what was really in my gut, saying what is the healthiest and smartest thing to do for the health of our organization and for the health of our membership, which was, of course, that we had to start following sequestered, decisions about mask wearing, not gathering together. And that was tough because in the early stages of that, as we all know, it was politically challenged and it was very hard to take a position. But I felt like that we needed to side on the side of healthy singers and to wait this thing out. And that probably was the worst and hardest decision that kept me truly awake at night until we enacted that kind of statement from what we were dealing with in terms of choral singing.